Howdy ho, friends! Welcome to our final and third video for our simple watercolor card making series. This is our third video, and this one is full of color. So our first one was all about the greens, our second video was all about the blues, and now we're just mixing all the colors up and having a blast. So we have our ornaments and Christmas lights that we're going to work on today. And we're going to use mostly watercolor paints. I have my trusty ballpoint black pen here and my watercolor brush, but I also have my teeny tiny little mini detail brush as well. So get those supplies out and let's have fun layering our colors together, okay? So I'm going to work on my ornament card first, and we are using honestly whatever colors you want. I'm going to start with this nice red circle in the middle, so I'm going to grab a little bit of, I'm just going to grab some of this red here. And you know, I'm just eyeballing things. The card that I'm going to make right now probably won't look exactly the same as the one that I made before, and that's okay. So if you want to layer your colors in any kind of different way, please do that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a nice circle here. Now, one thing I do like to do when I'm creating any kind of circular objects, I often start small and work my way outwards. Because what happens is, you know, if you start really big, then you don't know how big, you know, it's just nice to kind of take it one step at a time and just move those colors out and around. It also makes it easier to fix up the sides and just, you know, feel really chill about it. It actually feels really, really comfortable and chill to just grow out each side one line at a time. Now I try and make it as round as possible, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes there's a little lean-to in my objects, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a perfect human being. I don't expect everything to be perfect all the time. So if something looks a little off, that's okay. But I do have a rule. As soon as it starts to look pretty round, like it does right now, even if it's not as big as the first one, because once you start fixing it up again, it gets bigger and bigger. Not that that's a bad thing for this, but okay, I'm gonna, one more swoop, hopefully. And stop. Okay, that's it. So once my, you know, the color's on there, I can absolutely go back in and kind of push some of that paint to those edges a little bit to make sure that, you know, my ornament's got some color in it. If it's got too much color, I can always dry off my brush and move some of that color around by sopping up some of the water and paint that's on the paper as well. Give that a rinse. And the fun part is we can start to layer the colors on top of each other. So the next ornament I'm going to make is this blue one over here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this blue. I'm going to use this blue right here. Okay. And I'm going to make one of those nice teardrop shaped ornaments. So I just start right at the top. And I want it to cover up a little piece of my ornament here. So, you know, I'm kind of close, but there is a little space in between them. Start to pull down and over and back down. Shoop. And I do the same on the other side. And mix it in. And you can just kind of catch a glimmer of the ornament in behind it, which is perfect. And same deal, if you start a little small, then you have a little room for leeway if you need to straighten out your sides or make it a little longer like I'm doing right now, just so that there's a nice point on the end to even out the sides if you need to. If you start small, there's always room to grow. Okay. Teardrop number 2 is on. Now for fat teardrop number 3, which is going to be this guy here. And I'm going to take, I'm going to use this purple here. I'm going to use this one here. Maybe a little mixture of both, because it's fun to mix paints together. And again, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to, instead of going nice and long, I'm going to make a quick turn and dive deep to the sides and around and down. Here we go. All right, and move some of that around there. And you know, the fun thing about watercolors is that you can really have fun with the textures inside of each bulb. So if you wanted to keep a little bit of your bulb a little bit more clear, you can always wipe away some of that watercolor towards the other side and darken up your one side and lighten up the other. It's really fun to have those different variances of color inside your bulbs. It keeps it really fun. Okay. What's next? Okay, I'm going to make another blue bulb that's going to be right underneath of my red one, and they're going to overlap as well. I'm going to use this blue here. It's going to be a little bit darker. And I love doing that little overlap, then you get your colors kind of mixing in together so it looks a little purpley. There we go. And move some of that color around. And I'm just going to leave it. I think that's good. Maybe hit just a little bit more on this side here. Okay, there we go. Whew, that's good enough. I'm going to grab a little bit of green for the next. And I'm just going to make a nice little guy down here. Start really small with this one. Try and keep him just nice and tiny. Nice and tiny. You know he's nice and tiny. And adorable because he's so tiny. Okay, tiny little ornament there. Perfect. I'm also going to make another green ornament on the other side, but I'm going to choose a different green. I'm going to use like a lighter green over here and make another cute, adorable green ornament over on this side over here. All right, perfect. There we go. Nice. Okay, I'm really into this. You can tell when Julie gets quiet, it means that I'm enjoying myself. I'm really like, not that I don't enjoy myself when I'm chattering away like a chatterbox, but when you get that focus and you know you're just kind of concentrated, I revel in that feeling. I love that feeling. So last but not least, I'm going to grab some yellow, maybe a little mixture yellow. I'm going to take a little deep yellow and a little bright yellow. And I'm going to make my last ornament, another teardrop style ornament up at the top over here. So let's see, let's go right here. Maybe even a little wider on the sides, but I'm going to start small. I really want them to overlap, so I'm going to make that a little bigger. All right. See, when you start small, you can make it big. Wow. Perfect. Okay, there we go. And just color that in. I'm going to leave all that beautiful watercolor texture in there. Got a little overlap here. Not too much, but just enough. Perfect. Okay, so I have the basics on there. I got the basic shapes of my ornaments. I'm going to give that a minute to dry. I'm going to trade it over. And I am going to start on my fun Christmas light card. Look at how cute and fun this is, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 different lines that I can hang all of my little colorful Christmas bulbs off of. So honestly, friends, I would love you to just have fun with it. You can make like twirly lines, swervy lines, straight lines, twirly lines, whatever you want to do. You can get fancy and try and write a word with it or not. I chose against making a word just because I wasn't as confident in that as I should be. So yeah, I just start at the top and just kind of go for it. So let's see here. Make a shooshing sound if you have to. Shooshing is awesome. It helps me concentrate. So I'll make a line, and then you get to decide wherever you want your little lights to be and make a tiny little square where they're going to live. Some are on top, some are on the bottom, some are on the little twirly swirls, some are not. It might make sense, like with the spacing of it, it might not, and that's okay. But just start by adding those little, just our little light holders here. And it keeps it really, really simple. And yeah, I think that's good. Okay, next one. I always like the whistle too. So whenever I'm making any lines, whether I'm painting or drawing or doing whatever, I do a shh or a, you know, it just helps me focus, it helps me concentrate, and I just say whatever helps, do it. So if shooshing helps you concentrate, you should definitely do it. Don't worry about what other people think. Okay, now I'm going to go for a really boring, just straight line, but I was going to make it straight, but I think I'm just going to put a little curve in. I'm going to go down and up. There we go. But all these bulbs are going to be just hanging from the bottom here. No up and downies. Just hanging out, chilling. All right. And last but not least, my twirly, swirly, whirly gumdrop. The forest of twirly, swirly gumdrops. There we go. Nice fancy line there. And just like my last one, I'm going to keep all of my bulbs on the bottom, just hanging, and I'm going to let my swirlies be fancy free on the top. Honestly, I am so excited to see everybody's cards and what you come up with, because you get to really pick and choose what your light bulb strings look like. So this is what I got going on here. So you see this one has them all over the place. They have them on the bottom, on the top, around the swirlies. This one alternates. It goes down, up, down, up, down, up. These ones are all on the bottom, and these ones are all on the bottom, but even with the swirlies going around the edges there. Okay. So I'm going to say that out of all of the cards, this one might be the most trying, because we have to use, Well, you don't have to use your tiny, tiny little brush, which is what I have here. I have my tiny little detail brush. It's just got a wee little tip on it. And you can absolutely use a brush that has any kind of tip on it to do this. And you know what, friend? If you're not feeling confident using paint to create this card, go ahead, grab some markers, fine tip markers or colored pencils or even gel pens or whatever you have, and feel free to just color these light bulbs on. You don't have to use watercolor paint, okay? I'm giving you a buy. So I'm going to grab a little water. I'm going to start with my red bulbs. I'm going to use this red here. I really like this. It's kind of like a pinky red. And, you know, there's like a kind of a sweet spot between using too much water and not enough water so that you can get that nice shape of your bulb. So I just go one way, then the other way, and color it in. And you can create patterns in your series of lights. So if I do red, if I do green, or sorry, blue, green, yellow, I'm going to put another red here. And there wasn't enough water on it, so it made it weird. So let's do that again. There we go. Let's see, blue, green, yellow, red. You know, you could also create red, one color per strip too, if you wanted to do red, green, yellow, blue. Honestly, there are so many options. It's hard to even fathom. You could create light bulb cards for days. For days and days and days. I don't even know if this is right. I'm just going to keep creating. Now, my little light bulbs have a little point on the end, but you can also make a series of bulbs that are round, or maybe long the icicle lights too you could do. So, you know, I'm all about just taking one color and putting it down. If you want to do one string of lights at a time, you can absolutely do that. I am not, it's really up to you. But since I have the red on my brush, I'm just going to pop around and pop all of my little red ones on there. And maybe fix up some of these guys too here. Okay. Next is going to be some blue. I'm going to grab some of this blue here. And hope that there's not too much water on my brush. Okay, no, it's good. It's good. Yay! You just never know. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe try this blue and see how that looks. There's so many different color blues out there. I don't want to miss out on one. I'm blue, da boo dee da boo da da boo dee da boo da. Okay. I am just going to continue on and fill until all of these little lights have taken their place in their beautiful, bright little ways. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm just following along the same patterns that I used in here. So I don't know what made me change my my heart or whatever, but I did change it up as I started to move down my series of Christmas lights here. I started to change up some of the colors as well. So I'm going to put my greens on. Just be careful. It's really easy to get our fingers caught in the paint. All right. Okay. Got some greens there. I highly suggest you just go with your gut and use whatever colors resonate with you the most. Okay. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, I absolutely love putting the yellows on. I just think it makes the whole thing come together with the yellow lights on here. I don't know why. Just one of those things. Maybe it's the sunshininess of the yellow. I can't tell you. I can't tell you why I like it so much, but I just do. So I always love getting those little yellow bulbs on there. Excuse my dog barking, if you can hear him. I think there's somebody outside. And so is the life of working from home. Okay, I'm going to keep going on and on and on here. I keep it on and on. What? I keep it on and on. And I have to add some purple lights. Have to. And help me ignore my dog barking. Purple, and last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little orange. This orange here. A little bit of orange to finish off my last one. Oh, need more water than that. My one, shoop, shoop. A two, shoop, shoop. That's it. I only have 2 left. I thought I had 3. Okay. There we go. So I got all my little lights on there. Check this out. How cute are they? Oh my goodness. I just think this is so cute. This would be totally fine on its own. I just think it's so adorable. All right. And obviously that took long enough that my whole card now is dry. I can start to take my awesome ballpoint pen and start hanging my ornaments and just adding all sorts of different little lines in there. So again, have fun with it. Add whatever little embellishments you want inside of your ornaments. And don't forget to give them little tops. So at the top of the ornament, I put just a little bit of black, like a little square or something, and a nice string to hang it from the top. And whatever your heart's kind of calling you to do. So a couple little lines. I got some nice frillies here on this one, and a few little circles to finish it off. Perfect. Now I'm going to put a fancy ornament top on this one. I'm just going to make it kind of like a lamp shade hat. Put some nice little rungs in there and hang that to the top. And you know, I feel like the more cartoony, the better with these bulbs. You know, it's so cool to have that animated vibe. So I don't worry too much about the exact details of things. If the lines aren't exactly hooked up to the side, I'm okay with it because it just lends to the shape of the bulb. I think I'm going to put a star in the middle on this one. I feel like it's missing something. There we go. And some you don't even have to put in anything. You can just attach them to the top. And, you know, just remember, like this one, I'm going to stop it at that bulb. I'm going to put it behind my bulbs. You can have them go through if you want to. Make some swirly twirly gumdrop lines. And let's do this guy here. Now this one, I'm gonna go rogue and I'm gonna go over top. And then we just, you know, we're just making some more layers. Some fun little stars in there. Awesome. And there we are. We have all of our ornaments made. And, you know, you can write whatever you want on your cards. So on my Christmas light card, on my series of lights, I wrote Merry and Bright. which I love. So positive. And you know what? For this one, I'm gonna write joy to the world. And all I have to do is find a friend to give these to or a family member and write a beautiful note on the back or inside of my fold, whatever you decided to do. Honestly, friend, I really hope you enjoyed this series of Christmas card making with me, or holiday card making, whatever you want to call it. I always enjoy my time teaching you, and I truly hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I hope it is merry and bright. So go spread some more joy, give your cards away, and have a wonderful holiday. Okay, bye.